I'm good to go.
All right. Okay, I'll count down from 3 then. Okie dokie. Here we go. 3. Oh wait. Let me start this first. Let me go to okay, and then we'll count down. Whoa. All right. So 3, 2, 1, go. Sparking it up. I'm in 3rd. Nice. That wasn't supposed to happen. I think that's because I was practicing. My bad.
Alright, so this is Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo 64. In my opinion, and in the opinions of many other people, the best racing game. At least on the old school retro consoles, maybe period. Who knows?
I agree.
Yeah.
And all trophy races consist of going through every track in the game pretty much back to back to back in the trophy race setting. Normally when you do adventure mode, you like complete the tracks normally, and then you have to do a trophy race for each world. And the main difference between the trophy races and just the normal races is the AI gets boosted up pretty significantly. Pretty similar to the Adventure 2 AI. And trophy races, you have to place, I forget like all the statistics, but you can pretty much win 3 out of the 4 and then like come in last place or 7th place, I think, if I remember right. Like the rankings are kind of lenient. Pretty sure you can get like 3rd on all the tracks and be able to proceed.
One common thing you'll notice with each track is that the first lap will seem different than the other laps, because during the first lap you want to collect as many bananas as possible, because bananas increase your speed, your truck speed.
Oh yeah.
This is a horrible display of Fossil Canyon, but I always try to go for canyonless, unfortunately. And it doesn't always work out, but it's alright.
No harm
Fossil
in
Canyon might be my worst track in the game, honestly.
Yeah, it's
I really hate this track.
It's hard.
It's definitely the worst out of Dino Dungeon.
Yeah, agreed.
So when you collect the bananas, first off, it's important for most of the tracks to collect the 10 bananas, because any more than 10, it doesn't affect your speed. It caps out at 10 bananas. But for most of the tracks, you want to try to get 10 on the very first lap. There's a few tracks that make the exception that it's just faster to take the fastest route and get the bananas later on. And there's also a rhythm feeling to the acceleration. You want to tap the A button 4 to 6 times per second. It ultimately depends on the track you're on, because this game, it's constantly lagging pretty much, and depending what track you're on, you know, the lag can vary. So that's where you get the variance in your A presses from. Even I actually don't even know like the really deep down specifics of it, because it's like, you know, it's that deep of information. But
I didn't even know it was that technical.
And unlike most other racing games, this one has multiple vehicles you can choose from. There's the car, there's the plane, and there's the hovercraft.
The superior hovercraft.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
It's not picking up the arrows. There we go.
You can also fly out of bounds in some of these tracks. The programmer simply forgot to really put a base floor in some spots on a few tracks, so you'll see a couple of out of bounds. This one is a really good track to start learning it with.
Yeah, there are 2 other ones, but I still haven't learned Windmill Plains, so you won't see that one. I'll do that track regularly, but you will get to see Spaceport Alpha, which is in Future Funland. think Windmill Plains is the hardest out of bounds of all of them.
Yeah, that one is. There's 5 worlds as well in this game, and each world consists of 4 separate tracks. This one's Sherbet Island.
Mostly hover tracks.
Oh yeah. And the mechanics behind the hovercraft is you want to snake the control stick back and forth. Again, kind of more out of rhythm. It's not like doing it like mashing back and forth or whatever. But you want to do that. You want to hold the R button the whole time. Same thing with plane. And the only time you can tap A is when your vehicle reaches its original top speed. If you try to tap A as your speed is building up, you'll just lose all of it. However, in the car, you can always consistently tap A, regardless what your speed you're currently at.
Yeah, for some reason in hover, you just go a lot faster when you're turning, so we abuse that mechanic by sneaking.
Controlling speed on zippers and turbo balloons is very technical as well. When you approach a zipper and first take it, you want to completely let go of the A button and let the boost drag out for a bit. You can tell the player is letting go of A on a boost if the smoke coming out of the back of the vehicle is green. And then it's pretty precise to start holding A again and be able to maintain pretty high speed and, like, you know, cool down pretty smoothly. But you need to do that. The best visual is when that green smoke starts to clear up. It's very, very technical, but that's like the most simple way I can put it.
One advantage that I feel hover has over other vehicles is that when you bonk, you actually don't lose speed very much, so it's not really penalty to bonk. It's even strategic to bonk in some areas.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to spam bump.
Yeah. I agree.
Someone's bonking right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's me tapping A. No, not really. It took me a long time to like hover, but I think you have to have some sort of understanding with the mechanics to be able to. Thank you so much. That was great. To be able to like it. But most runners, I don't think, like hover, period.
Yeah, hover gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I try to back it up and explain why it's so good, but they just don't listen.
I actually really hated it for a long time, and then I learned the good old legendary Oxbuzz grip, where you just put you're pretty much overhand on the control stick, and you're wiggling back and forth with your thumb and index finger. And since I learned that, I like hover a lot more.
Hey, Des.
Yes.
During the next trophy cutscene, can you right-click on Hito in Discord and bump up her volume by like 20%?
Sure.
Okay.
There's a bunch of construction going on. Not really.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah, there's just construction going on. Alright, let's see if I can do this quickly. Right click. Hopefully that's good.
Yes.
Ooh. Alright.
on Snowflake Mountain, my favorite world in the game. A lot of people seem to really hate this world, though. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's not too bad, but I just have the worst time trying to get a good time at Walrus, dude. The Walrus Cove.
Yeah, some of these tracks can be punishing, but I actually like these tracks too. I mean, how can you hate them when you got this type of music playing?
Yeah, exactly. Like the music and the atmosphere of the tracks is what makes it my favorite. The tracks are really difficult and definitely punishing as hell if you miss anything.
Yeah.
How could they ever frustrate you?
I used to hate this track, but it's actually one of my favorites now. But that's because I do like plane. Plane is one of my favorite vehicles.
And the plane mechanics consist of, well, it's pretty similar to hovercraft in that you can only tap the A button when you're at original top speed. However, with plane, we don't really have to do that much because the barrel rolling you see her do actually increases your speed significantly. So we try as best as we can to just keep using zippers and turbo balloons and barrel rolls and try to use the A button as least as possible.
I've heard that if you're really good at this track, you don't have to press A button.
At least
That is, yeah, that's true.
The only time you should ever have to hold it is in the beginning to gain speed and to hit the zipper, and then you should be good. Get the banana and the zipper.
Oh,
Wow.
Now, it's actually faster to hug the wall when you're in the loop. I know that seems like you wouldn't want to hug the wall, but it's actually faster to do that.
Yeah, really weird mechanic about the loops.
Oh, I didn't know that was faster. To
Well,
be
now you know.
honest. Yeah, I really didn't know it was faster.
naturally been doing it faster all this time.
Yeah. Nice. Skills.
You have to hold R coming out of it as well, or else you just bonk right into the wall. This track has some of the worst turns out of all the tracks, though.
Yeah, this track is awful. Oh man, I'm gonna get rid of that. That's okay. Oh, I effed that up. I used it too early, but we can save this.
Now, as I mentioned before, there are some tracks where it's actually more beneficial to not grab all the 10 bananas and just take the fastest route. This is one of them here. You'll see she'll barely get any bananas at all. However, this route is still faster. The other way you would do it to get more bananas is when you start the race, you go on the right side and you'll get 5 bananas and then collect another 3 to 5 along the way. But this route is still, I think it's like 2 seconds faster or something like that. It might even be less than that, but
And
48 nice time.
thank you.
It wasn't too bad with the side bonk and the flatten.
Yeah, when I messed up. Getting flattened by the snowman. This is probably one of the laggiest tracks in the game.
Yeah.
This is RPG's favorite track when he was using Banjo to try to unlock TT.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Now, something I find interesting, I think just about any runner I've seen, besides myself, keeps the markers on screen the entire time. But for some reason, for me, they're too distracting. So I always turn off the markers unless I'm doing it out of bounds and have to use them.
Yeah. How
And
do
I
you turn them
also,
off?
I never keep the map on screen either, unless I have to follow it out of bounds.
How
do you
is the
turn 'em off?
speedometer?
C down is to turn off the markers, C right is to switch the map with the speedometer. And then you can actually adjust your camera to like be farther away or closer up with C up.
Alright, now we're over halfway done. I did
Sub
it.
30 pace.
Yeah, I did a couple runs earlier that were kind of messy, and they still ended up being sub 30, so I was happy with that. Ooh, that could have been bad. Logs are dangerous in this game, just like they are in Aladdin. I think this is one of my favorite hover tracks, just because of that area there where you get to go flying into the air.
Yeah.
And like,
that was awesome.
yeah. It's definitely awesome.
Sucks on the third lap though, because the AI is right there, and
Yeah.
when you're on screen with the AI at the same time, the game becomes significantly laggier. It's very stupid. But that's Nintendo 64 for you.
This is probably my favorite song. This level.
And in the Japanese version, track is actually called River Palace, which I think rolls way deeper than the original name Boulder Canyon.
I didn't know that.
And River Palace, like, I don't know why they changed the name, because that rolls insanely deep. But
That does roll deep.
I want a river palace.
That was still a 127. I thought that would have been worse. I thought that was slower. A sub 130 is okay with me.
yeah, it's still good.
This is Joe's favorite track, I'm sure.
Yep, fuck with
Is that true? Is that true, Joseph? Is your favorite?
Favorite, you mean, naming it Fuck Nut Village or Fuck With Village or, anything in that sort of variance, then yes.
Anything with the word fuck in it?
Exactly.
As a kid, I always thought it was faster to go down the well in this level.
Dude, I wish it was, because, like, that's, like, such a cool route. But
Yeah.
That turn is always sketchy because of those bumps.
you always have to be cautious when drifting on bumps like that, because it's very easy for your character to start drifting the opposite direction.
Yeah.
This track, I kind of take it slow because I seem to do horribly on this track.
Yeah, I used to do the same also. Like, I started to do the out of bounds in my all trophy races attempts, but when I don't do the out of bounds, it's always like really careful.
Yeah, it's a sketchy level. And the out of bounds is just as sketchy.
Yeah, the out of bounds for this level, it's apparently consistent. I mean, Giz is able to get it all the time. I mean, Nevada as well, so cool. But it's still very difficult to, I guess, understand and figure out how to do it. I spent a good amount of time learning it myself, but it was still like pretty much 50-50.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, when you get to the top level, you pretty much need to do it though, because it saves 25 seconds if I remember right. Maybe even more.
It's crazy how much time it saves. This was actually pretty decent. It was decent.
Haunted Woods.
This is one of the coolest music tracks, I think, on the game. Oops.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
Haunted Woods. It's so hard to avoid that zipper sometimes.
And yeah, there's 10 characters in this game. However, TT is by far the fastest out of any of them. And yes, he is an unlockable. However, when you unlock the characters in this game, it like hard saves it to your card, so you can't really wipe it after you unlock them. So that's why we accept the unlockable characters for speedruns, even Drumstick as well, but he's just not faster than TT overall. There are a few individual level records that are beneficial with Drumstick, but other than that,
Space Dust Alley.
Oh, nice, nice. Missed that blue boost. Alright. Not a good start to that, but it's okay. Still savable. Thought I was gonna miss that.
That giant floating boulder can be quite annoying.
yeah.
Oops.
These are definitely the hardest tracks in the game in Future Funland here.
This track is if you start out with this trophy race in the beginning of your run. Sometimes runners start out with this trophy race. Sometimes runners start out with Dino Domain. And the reason why most people would start out with this trophy race is because these are the hardest tracks in the game, and they can be reset heavy.
Yeah, and they've, crazy enough, got these tracks optimized to that point where they, should be taking that reverse route, because, the tiniest mistakes in these tracks cost seconds, and, that's pretty much a reset for them.
Yeah.
Why don't you start with these tracks, Des? Come on.
Oh, I was showing trophy races the way it should be played. Overfeed.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Wasn't
My
expecting
PB is
that.
actually the only one that starts with Dragon Forest, because I got really, really tired of this world specifically, so I switched Future Funland with Dragon Forest for the outbound.
Oh yeah, I thought that was an interesting route. But that was because of Windmill Plains, right?
Yeah, that, and I was just really tired of Reset Alley.
Oh yeah, true. Dark Moon Caverns, which is this track, is one of my favorite tracks in the game.
Darkwing Caverns.
The Darkwing Duck Cavern.
These are probably some of the most difficult turns in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Can easily bonk or lose control. Get hit by something. Plus lag because of lasers.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit going on. Oh. That looked like it was in the air, but I mean that could just be me.
The spike was like on the ground, but like just because this game is shitty with hitboxes, you still got hit in midair.
Just because this game is shitty.
It's not the hitboxes are shitty, which is a whole nother thing. Like, it's pretty often too where you will just go right through balloons if you're going at a pretty high speed. It's not even, you know, a top speed or anything. But it's so easy to just go right through balloons without collecting them. It's the most annoying thing.
Mm-hmm. Star shitty.
Yeah, it's really easy to fall off that bridge, and you lose like 6 to 8 seconds if that happens.
Yeah.
Also, the turbo balloons are placed in like the worst spots, and they're pretty difficult to consistently get. And the spike traps are in the most inconvenient spots, and it's really easy to get hit by them. And yeah, star shitty.
Basically.
You do get to go through Epcot though, so that rolls pretty deep.
Yeah, that's true.
And it has a rainbow tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Spaceport Alpha.
Oh.
RPG's favorite. Hey Joe, check Notify.
Alright. I don't need that boost. Well, the map isn't loaded yet, so I don't know where I'm at. There we go. That's the only thing that sucks sometimes.
The heck, map?
So this level has an out of bounds that was actually patched in all the other versions.
Yeah.
There's an area where the wall just has no collision. You can go right through.
And when Hito says it's patched in the US version, like literally it's patched, they put a nice fat patch up there so you can't
Yeah.
go out there.
Well, I had a feeling this would happen, but this is okay.
Yeah, it's also pretty easy to go back and down on this track. You gotta be careful that your height is at a consistent level. Because if you slowly rise up or even slowly rise down, it'll go right back in.
Wait. At least this is still sub 30. I'm okay with that. I was like, I don't care at this point that I fucked this last track up.
Hey, I think you did good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The out of bounds is really tedious too. Like it's easy to just like bounce back and not make it through it.
I commend you for being able to do an ATR race and not reset.
Thank you.
That's
Not reset. Yeah, it's
So hard
still.
not to reset.
Yeah. I mean, it's still sub 30, so I'm okay with that. And that was still sub 2.9. I mean,
Oh yeah, 2056.
GG.
thank you guys for commentating. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for playing.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was Diddy Kong Racing, and we are always looking for new players, so definitely hit that up, just like that guy in the background.
Hitting the table.
Thanks again for watching, guys.
And coming up next, we got